Hi there everyone. So let's discuss about comets, meteoroids, and asteroids. Alright, so you can see here the beautiful comet. Of course, this is a picture, okay, and you'll see that the movement of this. Okay, first, we cannot assure okay, where it's going to. Okay, perhaps this is a Halley's comet, like that. And this one is an example of a picture of a meteoroid okay, approaching the Earth. Of course, this one is an example of a picture asteroid. So I've shown to you the difference in terms of comets, meteoroids, and asteroids. Okay, because sometimes it is very confusing okay, to learn okay, the terms and their differences. Okay, so mostly the meteoroid is the one that enters the Earth's atmosphere, and they are smaller than the asteroid. And asteroids are very big, okay, and most of them are in the first asteroid belt. Okay, so a very interesting fact about these objects are the distances okay, and aside from that the differences of course when the meteoroid enters the Earth's atmosphere. So what are the correct terms to use? So when you say a comet, okay, it's a chunk of ice and rock originating from the outer solar system, often accompanied by a coma and tail. Okay, so as you can see on the picture, while an asteroid is a rock or in orbit generally between Mars and Jupiter. Sometimes asteroids get bounced towards Earth. And of course, we have the meteoroid, a space rock that's bigger than a dust grain but smaller than an asteroid. It strikes Earth. It is then a meteorite. Okay. So when it comes okay to Earth, okay, it's already called a first, or it's already on inside the Earth and hits the ground. It's already called a meteorite. Okay, so what about a meteor? Okay, so a meteor is a streak of light seen when a space rock, okay, or the meteoroid, right, enters the atmosphere and starts burning. Okay, as we also aka known as the falling star. Okay. And the last okay, is the meteorite. Okay, is a meteor. Okay, it doesn't entirely burn up. Okay, it's a piece of space rock that lands on Earth, and of course, it is the meteorite. Okay. So that's it. Alright, so in continuation, the big question is how scientists observe the atmosphere and, of course, the outer space. They've been using radio transmission equipment and, of course, the telescope on Earth. And aside from that, the most important is the Hubble Space Telescope, wherein scientists can observe clearly the objects okay, or the solar system and other objects in the universe. Another equipment that scientists use in terms of the observation and outer space is called the space probe. So this goes, of course, in the surface or observing the planets, the satellites of planets, and the atmosphere, okay, the conditions like that, and most especially they take pictures okay, of those parts of the solar system. Alright, so let's have the characteristics of comet and asteroid. In terms of origin, comet is on the Kuiper belt and Oort cloud, while the asteroid are mainly on asteroid belt. In terms of the shape, okay, they are varied, okay, for the comet, and irregular, as the same also with the asteroid, varied and irregular. For the size range of diameter, in terms of kilometer, so you have 1 to 10 for the nucleus only, while the asteroid is actually 1 to 100 plus, or double the size of that. Chemical composition, okay, they are frozen water or ice for the comet, frozen gases, okay, the gases are the following: ammonia, methane, and carbon dioxide. Other organic compounds are also present, like carbon containing compounds. For the asteroid, they are made of silicates, olivine, and pyroxene. Of course, there are also iron and nickel. The orbit of comet is highly elliptical. So in comparison to asteroid, okay, it's more rounded. Okay. For the comet's orbital period in terms of years, it's actually orbit around 75 to 100,000 years. While for the asteroid, its orbital period it's 1 to 100 years. Comets are icy bodies or objects, while asteroids are rocky fragments. Comets and asteroids are the remnants from their formation of the solar system 4.6 billion years ago. Near-Earth objects, okay, or also known as NEO, such as comets and asteroids. Comets and asteroids have irregular shapes and varied sizes. They both reflect light from the sun at varying amounts depending on the size and composition. Silicates are minerals which contain the elements silicon, oxygen, and other at least one metal which is responsible for comets and asteroids to be able to reflect light. Comet and asteroids both orbit the sun. Comets usually come from the Oort cloud, which is beyond our solar system, and a few from Kuiper belt, which is just beyond Neptune's orbit. Long period comets come from Oort cloud, while short period comets come from Kuiper belt. Okay, so let's have a few of the moment regarding the asteroid 2012 DA14 made a very close approach to Earth as it orbited the Sun on February 16, 2012, or in a Philippine time. In the morning of the same day, an asteroid entered Earth's atmosphere and exploded over Lake Chibarkul in Russia, hurting about 1,000 people in the process. These two events triggered superstitions, fears, and doomsday prophecies held by different cultures. Okay, so in continuation of this lesson, okay, so let's talk about the distance in space, okay, and it's measured in light years. And this asteroid was just a zero point 0.4 light year away from Earth, the closest distance that any asteroid has ever been to Earth. In December 2012, during the midst of the doomsday prophecies, asteroid Totatis also made a near approach to Earth, but not as close as asteroid 2012 Day A14. Alright, so as you can see in this picture, this is the location of Chibarkul Lake in Russia, wherein the impact of the asteroid 2012 happened. So this is the asteroid that they got from Chibarkul Lake in Russia. So let's have a short evaluation of the lesson, okay, and you can answer in true or false. Identify if the statement is true or false. Okay, so the first question is or statement. A comet is a ball of mostly iced that moves around in the outer space. Second, comets are believed to be in long elliptical orbits. Third, comets can come back into view from time to time. Fourth, comets are same with meteors. And fifth, asteroids orbit the sun. So let's continue and focus on the meteoroid. Okay, so meteoroid is a small rock of particle debris in this solar system. So ranging in size from dust to around 10 meters in diameter. Meteoroids often enter the Earth's atmosphere. A meteoroid that burns up as it passes through the Earth's atmosphere is known as a meteor or shooting star. A meteoroid that survives falling through the Earth's atmosphere and colliding with the Earth's surface is known as a meteorite. Approximately 500 meteorites reach the Earth's surface every year, but those only around 5 ever make it to scientists for study. The Earth's atmosphere experiences millions of meteors every day. When many meteors occur in a close time frame in the same part of the sky, it is called a meteor shower. Okay, so this is an example of a meteor shower. And let's take a look at the location of the um, comets. Okay, and of course, they are, as mentioned, in the Kuiper Belt and Oort cloud. While here, for the asteroid, okay, or we called it the location asteroid belt, okay, between Mars and Jupiter. Comet Halley is the most famous comet of the 20th century, only known as the Short Period Comet. It takes 75 to 79 years for Comet Halley to orbit the Sun. Comets are actually dark and invisible. When the comet is near the Sun, it becomes visible because tails are formed. When a comet is approaching the Sun, its ion tail is behind it, but when it is moving away from the Sun, its ion tail goes ahead of it. Halley's Comet will next appear in the night sky in the year 2062. Halley's Comet was recorded by Edmund Halley in 1682. It was seen again in 1758, 1835, 1910, and 1986. Now, this is an example of the Halley's Comet. Asteroids, on the other hand, originate from the main asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, as mentioned earlier. So this belt is theorized by scientists as remnants of a planet that did not completely form. The orbit of an asteroid is more rounded and less elliptical than the orbit of a comet. In February 2013, asteroid 2012 DA14 made a very close approach to Earth as it orbited the Sun. Okay, so let's have a short evaluation about the comet, asteroid, and meteorite. So complete the table, answer the questions below. Okay, so for the description of comet, asteroid, and meteoroid, and location and movement. Now, to avoid confusion, I'd like to share with you another picture. Okay, that's the location and the terms used. Okay, for the following. Okay, so this is the outer space. Okay, and that's where the meteoroid located. So once it enters the atmosphere, it also become known as the meteor, and when it hits the Earth, okay, it's meteorite. All right, so in this picture, you'll see the different kinds of meteorites. And of course, this came from outer space. There is a huge asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. that has millions of asteroids in it. Asteroids are small bodies that orbit a larger object in space, but they are different from the moons of a planet. Asteroids can have carbon, stone, or metal in them. Alright, so let's focus on the comet because it's a small object with elliptical orbit that has collected ice and cosmic dust and other gases like helium, methane, and hydrogen. As it comes closer to the sun, it heats up. It blows all kinds of materials or combustible materials such as methane and has a form of ice for next and later release. Light that is processed to be the tail of the comet. The most famous comet in the night sky is Halley's Comet, which orbits once every 78 years. And the meteor is a particle of space dust or rock that passes the Earth's atmosphere in the night sky. Meteor showers occur when many pass at the same time. So if a meteor survives and impacts Earth, it is called a meteorite. Most people commonly refer to them as falling stars. Alright, so let's have a summative questions, and of course, I hope that you like the lesson. And that's all for today. Thank you very much.